I have friends with so many letters behind their name, they could create a couple of new alphabets. And they're always chasing what we call procrastinating, avoiding stepping into their true potential, their unique ability. And thus starts the game of chasing certifications in the search for being good enough. All my life, I've thought about this. You're listening to the Unshackle Your Life podcast with Debbie Colburn, the place to break through all of the hidden things that hold each of us back, things that scare us and things that challenge us, and things we're just plain fed up with. We talk all things money and business, big and small. We dive deep, we get real, and we get raw, discovering and exploring what is really possible for you. It's a restart. If you've ever struggled with shame, worry, or just plain self-doubt, if you've ever thought it's not enough when you looked at your bank account or your credit card, if you're sick and tired of living a cycle of crisis to crisis to crisis, no matter whether it's in your personal life, in your business, or your relationships, then this is where you need to be. We'll bring you new ideas, tips, and tactics, and connect you to the resources to get you unlocking your own shackles and release your unique abilities. No matter what's going on in your life right now, maybe you're in survival mode, just barely getting by, living day-to-day, paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're in a job or a career or running a business that is leaving you on empty, depleted, uninspired, or anything in between. I've got your back. Ready? So buckle on up, take a deep breath, and join me in a conversation about jump-starting your life and breaking free of your shackles and create that thing that you've been scared to ask for. Welcome to episode 91. So this episode starts with an apology. And it's inspired by what thinking about the need to apologize brought up for me. Okay, before you say it, yes, I'm Canadian, and the world knows that we say, I'm sorry, all the time for the craziest of things, like when we open a door for somebody, when we ask somebody for directions, helping someone for real. So, to that person, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. It shouldn't have taken a call to me and to others for me to get that I and we just shut your idea down, cut you off at the proverbial knees when you're working so hard at rebuilding your life. When you shared something you thought others might be interested in that would have value to what we are trying to do, when discussion of it at a later date might have been the better move. In the name of optics. That was my word. What the hell, Debbie? The funny or sad part of this is that it actually wasn't the suggestion or the topic that triggered me. Because that's the reality of what happened. My response and the subsequent need for an apology, a heartfelt, true apology, was a reaction. And it was pure, unadulterated emotion speaking. And it exposed a part of me that I actually thought that I had been able to release, that I'd gotten over, that was past. The belief that because I'd made a bad choice 25 plus years ago, that it somehow wasn't okay for me to teach others about business and money, profit. A belief. You remember those sneaky little stories we tell ourselves so often, that our brains think that they're the truth. They can't tell the difference. That thinking came screaming back to me, saying, you couldn't possibly teach others how to build a successful business since you clearly didn't know how when you blew yours up. That's what my little voice was screaming to the person in my head. Who would listen to you? You have no credibility. What do you know? Your experiences, your whole package got voided in that one choice. No one will trust what you have to say. Has that ever happened to you? I'm sure it has. It happens to each one of us. But many of us simply don't hear the voice, or we're so committed to being right to our story that we can't allow ourselves to be open to another perspective. And I just want to say at this point, to be more clear, the reason that this particular thing was nagging at me is because it was actually what I called a layered trigger. The situation where something triggers you, so you've already got your hackles up, you've got your back up, you're feeling challenged, you're feeling all the feels swelling up inside. And it's interesting, as I was typing that, I literally could feel my fists tightening up. And then something else, closely related, triggers you in a short period of time afterwards. Classic case, visiting with your mother-in-law challenges some people. That's a perfect example. Or kids. Or money glitches. Layered before you can resolve one, the other one hits you, slams you like a tsunami. What's interesting is that for many people, when they hear the voice themselves, doubting their abilities, I bet you can guess where they turn. Take a guess. Right. They turn to the world of certifications, licensing, all that type of stuff, because there's a belief that someone who has certifications are licensed. And yes, in some states, it's a legal requirement for certain things, but that's not really what I'm talking about. Is somehow better at something than someone without it. I have friends with so many letters behind their name, they could create a whole couple of new alphabets. And they're always chasing what we call procrastinating. Avoiding stepping into their true potential, their unique ability, and thus starts the game of chasing certifications in the search for being good enough. All my life, I've thought about this. In my professional accounting career, I went as far as I could with my 3-year business administration diploma, but without the magical 2 letters, you know them, right at the very beginning of the alphabet, they're in the first 3 letters behind my name, in one of the big 5 public accounting firms. A feat in itself. That was one of my it's one of my many, many successes that I've had through my life. And when I investigated returning to university, when they changed the licensing rules and stuff, because that had a definite impact on me, I discovered that it would cost me almost $100,000 and the loss of 3 years of earning power to end up making what I already was, doing what my clients wanted me to do at the price that they were seeing value. Well, that was a no-brainer. Yes, I also had my university education in kinesiology, study of human movement, and it didn't count for much in the world of business administration and accounting. But it sure as heck did later in my business evolution. In the dog industry, those owners who've discovered that they can make more money offering certification than being front-facing, just teaching what they want to teach, and in the process have a continual supply of new staff that knows exactly how they teach for their business, they've reeled in potential trainers and future clients into a false web. There are people on both sides of the line, and I have to stop and think when I put in false web in there. But there are people on both sides of the line, even if there even is a line. And as I've explored this, I've come to be at peace with that. It's not clear-cut. There are people who are exceptional at what they do and can help others create amazing things. Those people might have certifications in the field, and they might well not. They might charge a ton for it, and they might not charge anything, or anything in between. There are people who really probably shouldn't be doing what they do and can do more harm than good out there. Those people might have certifications in the field, and they might not. They might charge a ton for it, and they might not charge anything, or anything in between. And there are people at every point along the way. And here's the thing. There are clients, customers, patients, members for all of those. Who you chose, who resonates with you, where you are in your problem, whether you checked reviews or not, whether you believe reviews or not, whether you understand that reviews are someone's perception from their own experience, what solution you're looking for, what you've already tried, what you haven't tried, what your hidden stories are, beliefs, blocks, traumas, experiences, all affect your choice. And, honestly, might trigger you. Or double trigger you, or triple trigger you, or they might not. And the real reason I did this episode, this super short episode, is to reiterate that the solution to all of this is just to keep on learning. Be curious more. Be questioning more. Be open to opportunity, to discussion, and to listen to you. Your inner gazoo, as I call my voice, because some of you guys know that. Listen to gazoo more. And be open to having to apologize every once in a while. It's what real humans do. Now, there's a lot here. My wish is that you take something away today that will encourage you to take the next step, to start building a bias for action in your daily life. You already know that your thinking is what drives everything. So we've created this new daily affirmation sent to you every day for 90 days so that you can unlock every day with intention. So you can just sign up. It's free at DebbieColburn.com/unlock the day. So we're here. We're at the end. Time for that question I ask everyone at the end of each episode. What is the best thing that could happen in your life if you just unshackled one small thing? Hey, if this podcast got you thinking, please make sure you're subscribed and share it with anyone who needs to hear this. The link is in the show notes, and please drop us a review on whatever podcast player that you're listening on, whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, you name it. And make sure that you drop over to our website, DebbieColburn.com/links/ that's DebbieColburn.com/links/ to get our brand new 7-day quick action guide and to check out what's coming up in 2022. And please make sure that you're following us on LinkedIn and on Instagram, just to keep you on your toes, has a slightly different name, at MS Debbie Colburn.